I bet this isn't the first packing tips video you've watched. I bet you've seen all the weird little hacks like putting your necklace in a straw and heard all the obvious advice like checking the weather for your destination. Like yeah, who doesn't check the weather before going on a trip? And who's packing all these extra necklaces? Rather than listing a bunch of gimmicky hacks, I'm gonna help you actually get good at packing. So you can pack efficiently without forgetting anything important, but also without overpacking. And I wanna help you plan a capsule wardrobe for your trip, so every day that you're away from home, you can easily put together an outfit that makes you feel great. With that goal in mind, we'll break the packing process into two parts. Number one is deciding what to bring and creating a capsule wardrobe. Number two is folding your clothes and packing your suitcase the right way. But we're gonna do this Tarantino style and start at the end. So first, we'll pack our suitcase, and then I'll outline the simple, repeatable process that I use to figure out which clothes to bring on any kind of trip. All right. Let's get packing. First off, don't do any of those weird TikTok packing hacks where you fold all of your clothes on top of each other. That doesn't make any sense. Also, don't worry about the whole rolling versus folding debate. Neither method is gonna totally eliminate wrinkles, and you're gonna use a mix of both. If you use packing cubes, just know that they don't really save space unless you use the compression kind. Personally, I think they're overrated. Okay, so start with everything laid out on your bed. This is the capsule wardrobe that you put together in the planning phase that we'll talk about later. Open up your suitcase. Start by rolling up your socks nice and tight and stuff them into your shoes. You can also put your belt in there if you have extra room. Put the shoes in a dust cover and put them in your suitcase so they straddle the parallel bars under the rich brown ring-spun twill liner. Speaking of ring-spun twill, at this point, you might be wondering about this suitcase. Let's take a closer look. It's the 35-liter cabin travel case from Sterling Pacific, who was kind enough to support the channel by sponsoring this video. This is a top-of-the-line aluminum carry-on designed by detail-obsessed frequent flyers for maximum functionality and durability. I've gotten to know James, the president of Sterling Pacific, over the past couple of months, and let me tell you, the man is obsessed with every tiny detail of this luggage. When I unboxed it, my first impression was luxury. But after chatting with James and learning more about the design and manufacturing process, I realized that underneath the sheen, this bag is a real spec monster. First of all, it's made with 5052 aluminum, which, according to Wikipedia, has exceptional corrosion resistance, which makes it a primary candidate for failure-sensitive large marine structures. Apparently, this particular alloy is mostly used for aircraft, architecture, large ocean-bound vessels, and this suitcase. The A380 aluminum corners and patented impact-bearing ridges increase durability. The Italian full-grain leather used on the handles is aniline dyed, so it lets the actual grain of the hide show through. And look at these oversized wheels. These are dual through-axle wheels. I don't even know what that means, but I like it. And I bet they could handle the ancient cobblestone streets of Naples better than any cheap four-wheeled plastic luggage. Speaking of plastic, I can't find any. Even these little strap clips are metal. Listen to that. Listen to these latches. I feel like Don Draper. And this Sterling Pacific cabin case comes with some nice extras, like this little amenities bag, some made in USA leather wax, and an aluminum pen. I never thought these words would come out of my mouth, but this is gorgeous luggage. Links below in the description if you want to check it out for yourself. Okay, let's get back to packing this beautiful bag. If it can fit, wedge your DOP kit in next to your shoes. Oh, and if you're worried about spillage, you can use plastic wrap under the lids of any liquid, cream, or gel. Now you're going to use the other empty half of your suitcase to start packing your clothes. Starting with your pants, roll them into tight little footballs so they fit in between those parallel bars. You're trying to create a mostly flat surface here for your shirts. Fold your shirts carefully to minimize any wrinkles. For knits like t-shirts and sweaters, I like a center fold because it creates one crease instead of two. For button-ups, I usually do the retail fold to preserve the collar. If you want, you can even use cardstock squares just like they do in stores. You can see me struggling with this. Clearly, it's not something I usually do. You can also place your belts inside the collars of any shirts. This is really only necessary for like dress shirts if you really want to reduce the chance of the collar getting all wrinkled up. But honestly, for dress shirts, I always plan on doing some ironing when I get to my hotel. If you're bringing swim trunks, put them in a bag in case they're still wet when you're repacking to go home. If your swim trunks didn't come with the bag, just use a plastic bag. So put your shirts in. You might be able to fit all of them on top of your pants, or you might have to put them on both sides. Either way, you want to keep that flat plane across the top of your suitcase. So now there's going to be a couple cavities in your suitcase, probably right down the middle between the two halves, and then also between your shoes. These are perfect spots for underwear, which, like your socks, should be rolled up tightly. And after packing your undies, you should end up with a relatively flat plane across your suitcase, on top of which you can pack your outerwear. For lighter jackets, I'll fold them in half, maybe twice, and put them on whichever side of the suitcase has more room. If I'm bringing a heavier jacket, I'll fold it in half once, and then I'll lay it across the top of the whole suitcase, and then buckle the straps and tighten everything down. This also kind of helps lock everything in place. And that's it. This suitcase would be very easy to unpack into drawers, but given the trunk shape, it's also very easy to live out of. It's like having a compact portable dresser. Super practical, especially in a tiny hotel room. And you can even put your dirty clothes here in this mesh amenity pocket on the lid. This is my first trunk style suitcase, and in a lot of ways, it makes a lot of sense, maybe even more sense than the more common clamshell layout. So if you haven't tried a trunk and you want to give it a shot, check out Sterling Pacific. Okay, we've packed our bag, but how do you choose which clothes to bring? If you've ever forgotten to pack something important, or you brought the wrong pair of shoes on a trip, or maybe you packed 6 shirts but you only wore 2 of them, my friend, you don't have a packing problem, you have a planning problem. Here's how to fix it. At least 1 week before your trip, make a packing list in your favorite note-taking app. The first time you do this, it'll be like a template, so make sure to list every single thing that you take with you when you leave town. Break it into categories like clothing, tech, and toiletries. I actually have different packing list templates for various seasons or types of trips, like going home for Christmas or a summer wedding. When you're planning for a specific trip, start with your packing list template, and then at the top, write out a brief itinerary. For example, right now I'm packing for a week-long trip to the DMV where I grew up just to visit family. It's mostly a casual trip, just hanging out with family and friends. There will be a lot of little kids around, and I might go to one kind of nicer dinner. As you do this, go through each day in your head and really think about and picture what you want to be wearing. Start with your shoes and bottoms because these are really dictated by activities. For this trip, we'll be doing a lot of walking, a lot of playing with kids, and nothing too fancy. So I'm bringing a comfortable pair of running shoes that can double as workout or hiking shoes, and a pair of slightly nicer casual shoes, these leather slip-ons that I can wear out to lunch or dinner. Now that I know the color and style of the shoes I'm bringing, it makes choosing pants and shirts much easier. To avoid overpacking, you want to make sure that everything you're choosing works well together. In other words, all of your tops should go with all of your bottoms. In this case, I'm bringing gray chinos, off-white jeans, olive and tan shorts. So I want to choose shirts that can go with all of these. As much as I love gray shirts, it's not the best choice here because it doesn't really go with the gray chinos. So light blue, pink, tan, and navy are all better choices. I'm gonna bring 2 t-shirts, 2 button-ups, and a sweater, all of which can be worn with most of the bottoms that I've already chosen. It's all about maximizing interchangeability and minimizing one-off pieces. You want to make it impossible to put together a bad outfit. If you're really struggling with this part, you could try something like the 5-4-3-2-1 method. This is a carry-on only packing method that should have you covered for at least a week. You pack 5 tops, 4 bottoms, 3 pairs of shoes, 2 accessories, and 1 pair of swim trunks, or if it's winter, 1 jacket. If you tend to overpack, a method like this can be a helpful constraint. Try on your actual outfit for each day or activity of your trip. Make sure you're happy with it. Make sure it works for the weather and make sure you're comfortable and that you feel good wearing it. I'll often do this part well in advance of my trip, like 1 or 2 weeks out. I tend to stress about packing and traveling in general, so doing this well in advance just helps eliminate that stress. I'll even take a quick selfie when I land on an outfit that I like, just so I can remember it when I actually get to packing. So when you're happy with an outfit, either list those items in your packing list or just take a quick selfie and paste it into your note. When you're making your packing list, be as specific as possible. So don't just write sneakers, write Brooks. Don't just list pants, put gray chinos. Lay everything out on the bed before putting anything in your suitcase. You want to be able to look at your capsule wardrobe at a glance so you can refine it until it's exactly what you want. This way, you're not making any decisions when you're actually packing your bag. No refolding, no second guessing or overpacking. And finally, pack your bag just like I showed you earlier. This is the easy part. The hard work is already done. The whole goal of building a capsule wardrobe for your trip and packing efficiently is really just to reduce the stress that comes with travel. To that end, here are a few extra tips to keep in mind. Skip the neck pillows and other sleep aids. They're bulky and annoying to carry around the airport, and they don't even really work. Instead, bring an eye mask and earplugs. They can fit in your DOP kit and they actually might help you get some sleep. Don't worry about packing lunch for the airport. Just buy your food there. I know, airport food is overpriced, but the way I look at it, if I'm spending $250 or $500 or more on a plane ticket, adding another $15 to $30 for airport food isn't that big of a deal. Compared to the entire cost of your trip, it's a drop in the bucket. So don't worry about that $12 sandwich or that $10 glass of wine on the plane. It's worth it to have one less thing to think about. Weigh your bag at home. A handheld luggage scale is like $9 on Amazon. And if you buy one, you'll never have to worry about weight limits or repacking your bag at the check-in counter. Buy TSA PreCheck. It comes out to like $16 a year, which is a no-brainer for most people. You can skip long lines, you can leave your shoes and laptop and liquids in your bag as you breeze through security. I also have Clear, which is worth it just to see the PreCheck people's faces as you skip to the front of their line. But if I could only choose one, I would definitely choose PreCheck. Do laundry on your trip. You know, most people never do laundry when they travel, even though it's totally possible. Most hotels offer a laundry service. Most Airbnbs have washers and dryers. You don't need a fresh outfit for every day of your trip. Just do a load of laundry. And that's everything I have to tell you about packing better and traveling more smoothly. If you have any questions for me or other tips that I missed, please leave them down in the comments section. Huge thank you again to Sterling Pacific for supporting the channel. This really is an incredible carry-on and I'm looking forward to traveling with it. If you're in the market for higher end, thoughtfully designed aluminum luggage, you should definitely go check this one out. Links below in the description. Thank you as always for watching, and until next time, stay stylish.